Great. Okay, so thank you so much for the warm introduction. My name is Ella, and I'm going to be talking about my untraditional pathway into tech. So, I'm actually studying neurobiology and computer science at UC Irvine, and this coming summer I will be a SWE intern at Chipotle and participating in the Breakthrough Tech AI Fellowship at UCLA. And a fun fact about me is that I started a small business in 2020 and it jump-started my passion for entrepreneurship. Um, I got into coding because I was inspired by its potential to drive innovation and make meaningful change in the world. And I'm inspired by how the nature of technology can increase accessibility in various industries. And I'm especially interested in learning more about the intersection between AI and neurobiology. Aside from coding, I engage in mentorship um, to empower um, to empower others in non-traditional pathways in CS because I personally benefited a lot through mentorship transitioning from being pre-med to computer science. So I really like to give back to the community in that way. And also, I'm a first generation student myself, so my experience jumping into computer science was largely shaped by programs that foster inclusivity and generational change in the workforce. So, for example, my participation in the Grace Hopper Conference or Breakthrough Tech AI and a student organization at UCI called Women in Information and Computer Sciences allowed me a safe space to learn in my transition from like pre-med to computer science. So, a little more specific on my roadmap, my journey in college began when I was admitted into the School of Biosci in my freshman year. And I was always curious about computer science, but I was really intimidated because my only exposure to computer science was literally Scratch in middle school, and I was really bad at Scratch. And I never took any APCS classes in high school, and I had no prior exposure to coding. However, in the spring quarter of my freshman year, I took a chance and I enrolled in my first CS class. And at the end of that quarter, I declared my minor and continued taking a CS class per quarter. And then after that summer, I grew more curious about the CS industry and like learning more about the field. So I knew I had to learn outside of my courses. So I joined a club called Women in Information and Computer Sciences, and I participated in my first hackathon. Then throughout my sophomore year, I made a lot of friends in computer science. And at some point, I could probably say I had more friends in computer science than I did at biology. Um, and Wix helped me through a lot because it paired me with mentors and hosted workshops, and interacting with students who had gone through the interview process helped me learn a lot from it as well. And that following summer, after my sophomore year, I attended the Grace Hopper conference. I studied leak code, I worked on projects, and in that fall, I became a mentor myself to people who were in a similar situation as me. Then this spring, I officially added my computer science major and I accepted my offer from Chipotle. Um, and if you are to take anything away from my story, it should be that if you want to learn something, community is so important. Surround yourself with people who have the experiences that you want to learn about. For example, I joined Wix to learn more about the CS community and like the industry itself. And you'd be really surprised how much you learn just passively, just being in an environment full of people with those experiences. Additionally, reach out to mentors or people who are a year ahead of you, even because these people were in your shoes at one point and they're always happy to help you because they wish that they had someone who told them what they know now. And then my last piece of advice or my last takeaway from this is try things even if it scares you, because if I didn't take my first CS class despite being so scared, I would still be on my pre-med track right now, and I'd be studying for the MCAT, getting ready for med school. I like love that attending university puts you in a position where you're surrounded by so many people with various interests and experiences. And I think it's really easy to like find people and like reach out to people, join organizations. for anything, even if you're just slightly interested in it. And I think these takeaways can be applied to anything in your life, not just tech as well. And then my career advice. Um, so honestly, my biggest challenge as a neurobiology applying to all these internships was passing resume screens. And the thing that helped me the most was attending career fairs and using websites like Ripple Match to apply because on top of my resume, recruiters were able to see that I had passion and interest in the industry. And it's hard to show for your personality through standard application processes. And additionally, I think finding companies that are recruiting around your university will help you a lot because the application pool will be a little smaller. Um, with this, I think that there is more value in applying for companies that you would root for yourself and that you find relatable. Because in this way, you're able to make a greater impact in the industry and be more creative working in this industry that you're so knowledgeable in. And my favorite part about computer science is how it's applicable in almost every field. So I would highly encourage working for a company where your passion meets your impact. Um, and then lastly, another challenge that I faced was imposter syndrome. And Isabel kind of talked a little bit about this, but to add on, like take the opportunities that come your way and give it a chance. Don't reject yourself before they even like get the chance to reject you. Additionally, it's important to remember that no one expects you to have your entire life figured out at the age of like 18 to 21. Like, especially if you're a first year, I would encourage you to take some time to explore what industries you're interested in and like your hobbies, and then apply to companies that you love and niches that you are interested in. Um, and then lastly, I'm always happy to chat and connect with people on LinkedIn, so please feel free to reach out. And thank you guys so much for tuning into my slides. Um, I'll answer some questions while Yasin's gone. Um, we do get free food with our internship. I'm actually starting this upcoming summer, but so I've heard every Monday they cater Chipotle, but I'm not sure if like outside of work, um, what the Chipotle benefits look like there. Um, extracurriculars. Oh wait. For extracurriculars, I would say leadership experience stands out a lot, especially if you can like, I think even like leadership experience in terms of being able to have these experiences to talk about in behavioral interviews, because they'll ask you things like, oh, how do you deal with conflict? And if you like, um, or help organize groups, then it's like it's something that you can talk about, or if you like help organize projects, it'll be something to talk about. I would say you should join extracurriculars that aren't related to tech if you're interested in it, especially. Um, I don't think there's like a determining factor if you do extracurriculars in or outside of tech. And then how did I go about finding internships? Um, I I attended career fairs and I would apply online, but I had the most luck through applying to internships and submitting my resume at career fairs and GHC. I think I got like the most interviews and I heard back from the most companies through career fairs and GHC. And I also heard back from like companies that I applied to through Ripple Match because on Ripple Match they ask you for like a sentence saying like why are you interested in this company? And with that like it's it's easy to show like you love the company for like the company itself, not just because you need a job, which is also valid, but I think they like personality a lot. Um, Someone asked if Ripple Match helped me get my Chipotle internship, and no, it did not. That one was actually through my career fair at UCI. Um, but I did get some OAs and interviews. What keeps me up at night today? Um, I think a lot about this is a really good question. Um, I think a lot about like in terms of something that I said earlier about how I think a lot about like the programs that foster inclusivity in the workforce. Programs like that are so important because like programs like GHC and Breakthrough Tech AI give like one a safe space for women in the workforce, but also companies that recruit specifically from these programs are trying to break um, are trying to like have more women in the field, especially because like after like all these years where women weren't given like to um the opportunity to like an equal opportunity for like education and everything, it kind of like breaks the gap a little bit. Um, and creates like a community. And also like being educated really like having the opportunity to be in college right now as a first generation student really like jump starts me or like so much in like my generation like my generational wealth and like education because my parents were immigrants and they didn't get the opportunities that I get today and I'm like really grateful that like the future generations that come after me are gonna be able to have like a lot more opportunities that even I won't get or like that my parents would never get either.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And I think I know you're gonna do well. I know you'll thanks. I'm just gonna be a little bit stickler here. What keeps you up at night? I know the communities and the ability to know that you're the first generation, is great. But what is something that you struggle with right now? If you want to share.
Hmm. This is a really hard question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no
Um,
worries. Um, yeah, it doesn't have to be personal. I was thinking more of like technical career related. But I think everyone has something, right? That
uh,
the end goal is like even Michael, right? Like Michael right now is he was actually sick when he was here. He made time for us, which is great. People are always struggling with something. Yeah, Ella, you want to say something?
okay, I think I face a lot like imposter syndrome and like in relationship to the thing I said about like my family and stuff like that, like it um like the fact that like I feel like a lot of pressure on me as like a first generation student and like like the to be in like a university that like my parents would never be able to. Like I feel a lot of pressure in myself to do well and to succeed, but I try to remind myself that to trust in the universe and to trust in myself as well. But definitely like the imposter syndrome in terms of like being worried, like, do I deserve these opportunities? I try to remind myself that like I wouldn't be given these opportunities unless I didn't deserve them. Or like if I didn't deserve them.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for the candid advice, guys. That was raw. That was that was her keeping 100. So can we share some love for Ella right here in the chat? Can we see some love, please? What do you guys like about her? I love the fact that she's talking about community. So that's my contribution. I love the community aspect. Um, what did you guys like about her, guys? Drop in the chat. Ella, you gotta open that chat, make it big. Take some screenshots. Take some screenshots. When a rainy day hits, you can always look at this. Like these group of people love what you said, right? And I'm hoping you guys added Ella on LinkedIn because if you didn't, you must add Ella on LinkedIn. Ella, just talking to you and hearing your story, I'm thinking about like how maybe there can be like a head starter for women or head starter for girls. Like I'm actually gonna visit the Girls Who Code founders home like next weekend. So like I'm gonna maybe tell her or her some of the people in that house party, like, what can Hester do for like more female, Wix is a great institution, I know. But I think most institutions either cannot expand, like they cannot have more than, let's say, 1,000 people, like within a geographical location, or they're not quality, like they don't make you elite. So I'm gonna see what I can do for that community, and maybe I'll reach out to you, Ella. Maybe you can help us out on one way or the other, so we can have more folks feel a safe space here at Head Starter. And just like a launch pad, more so, a launch pad to become better and greater.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to be involved, and that sounds like a really incredible opportunity for like Head Start for like people involved in Head Starter too.
Yeah, yeah.